Wow. I thought when I did this podcast, I was going to just know what to say. Like, I just felt like I just was going to know what to say, and it was just going to come out my mouth, and it's not coming. It's not coming. What's going on, guys? Thank you for, first start off by saying thank you. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you followed me from You Know What Jesus over to this podcast now, which is the Glamour Podcast, which I feel like you guys will probably try to get. I don't know if people got my sense of humor with You Know What Jesus, because I think I was cursing in the whole nine. So, just a rebranding, piece to people who are in business or thinking about going into business or something along that line. Changing your name sometimes helps your audience kind of understand you more, probably relate to you more. I think most people got it. I'm still talking about the same things, but kind of just saying, putting glam and the word more together, just because I cover so many different things, like from business to branding, mostly to like beauty, interviewing people in the beauty industry that you may know that maybe you want me to interview and talk to them so you can kind of get a scoop of things and what's happening. So I feel like I should just come over here. And I don't know, I haven't podcasted in so long. And if you have followed me from You Know What Jesus to here, I drop podcasts usually every day. Here's the thing about when I drop a podcast every day. I drop it at a random time. While I know people love structure and they tell people that all the time, you look at ABC, ABC, the news, the sports, you have a certain show, when your show is going to come on, you're dying to listen at that time. And I guess for the creative, crazy person also trying to be a perfectionist, that time probably would kill me to have it done every day by that time. And two, I also like surprises. So I like to know something's coming or I'm going to get something and I don't know what time it is. So I'm still stuck between having a time for you guys and I'm not sure what time I'm going to have for you guys. Really not sure. My bad. I was going to say I'm going to work on it, but I don't want to set myself up and not do it. But I've just been gone for so long. So many things have changed. So many things have changed. I moved recently, so that's exciting and nervous. And now I am like so focused on like podcasting. So podcasting, doing news. I have a morning show with like 4 other women, so I'm still like scouting for that. So if you are interested in co-hosting with me on a podcast, preferably a morning show, be sure to email me or hit me up on Facebook at Londyn Nikole, facebook.com/Londyn Nikole, or if not, you can email me at londynnikole@gmail.com. That's LONDYNNNIKOLE@gmail.com. So I kind of had that. Excuse me. Oh, wow. Just burp right in the middle of your podcast, why don't you? Sorry. So I had that moving, all of these new things that have happened to me in life. Then I recently kind of just went through something over the summer that just between like my daughter and going to court and how stressful that is and what that looked like. And I was just in this place where it kind of just felt like shock. Let me just be honest. Like in the part of the trial, my podcast had kind of came up. And something that I said was kind of the person was trying to use it against me. You know what I mean? And it was so hurtful because I've never had, like, for someone to try to use your own words against you without any context behind it. Like, it was kind of like, well, look what she did and look what she said. One, I don't think it was as bad as they described. This person was trying to say I was talking about them. Didn't mention their name. Kind of did a Facebook live video about it. And I was basically just like, hey, like, you won't communicate with me openly, but you go to my business page and you leave me a message over there when you could have texted me, you could have called, like, and you're listening to my podcast. My podcast, at that time was normally about 30 minutes to an hour. So in my head, I'm thinking, if you can do all of that versus directly communicate with me, like, really? So that was like the whole thing of it. But, and it just hurt so bad because I never had someone do something like that to me. And I guess I took some time and I had to reflect. And again, let me just say this. I've never, ever felt like I couldn't express myself. Like I never felt like somebody like had my voice, that I couldn't talk, I couldn't speak up for myself, I couldn't say how I felt. I've never really felt that. Like even if I felt it like, oh, this person wants you to shut up, in my head I'm like, fuck you. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like at some point, like even if I don't jump on it now, I'm gonna come back to it. Maybe I have to figure out how to say it. Maybe I have to figure out how to word it, but I'm gonna come to you. And normally if you say something out the line to me, I'm gonna check you right then and there, especially if I felt some type of way. But I'm also the person, like, once you're like, hey, that wasn't my intentions, and I'm like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. And we kind of got on the same page. I'm sorry, those things was issued. I'm kind of over it. I'm done. I'm not like having this, because I hate when people bring up old stuff to me. You know what I mean? Like we got in an argument in 6th grade. We already forgave each other, but you still being petty. Like, remember when we was in 6th? Remember when we was in, like, bruh, like you still holding? We apologize. Really, dude, petty. Now, granted, I won't say petty. I think we joke too and say the word petty. Not necessarily I'm petty. Sarcastic, yes, because I find a lot of things. I have humor in a lot of, my humor is probably weird, but yeah, sarcastic, but never petty to the point of trying to hurt someone to deliberately. You get where I'm going. I'm pretty sure you've been there too. So, I've never felt like my voice was just ripped away. And in this time, I kind of felt like that. I felt super violated, like, just like, oh. And in this time, like reading, meditating, getting scriptures, talking to different people, kind of building that up. Somebody's going to talk up. My friend was the other day. She's like, your voice chakra is messed up. And I was like I sound bad? Like, do I sound? She was like, you're I was like, bruh. And then she's like, you're holding pain and anguish in your voice, your throat chakra. And I was so mad. Like, I don't know. I was just like so mad. And then dope, I had this other woman today reach out and was like, hey, I listened to your other podcast. Like, I got it. I got the humor of it, but you're still talking about, just how to go through life every day and pray and try to be spiritual or be a spiritual grounded person and all the stuff that happens. And you're talking to God and you're basically saying, you know what? I just can't. I can't. I'm trying, but I can't. I just can't. I can't, Jesus. I can't. So she hit me up and I felt super inspired. And she's like, oh, your voice is so strong and powerful. And I don't know. It's just probably for the first time, it just really just laughing out loud about it. Like just really laughing that I would start something. I know who I am. I know what my intentions are. I know when I say stuff, how I'm directing it, my intentions behind it. And for me to allow someone to make me feel that way, I was like, yo, I got me fucked up. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, have you been in that place? Just being super honest, this was a hard pill for me to swallow. Don't know about you, just talking about me, but it was really hard. That whole place of self-worth. Because I'm like, yo, confidence is not my issue. Like, self-worth is not my issue. Like, no, self-esteem, no. Like, and then it was like hitting me like, yes, you're having a self-worth issue. Like, you're having an issue with, like, yo, it really, 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 really messed me up because I never felt like one of those people to have that type of issue. Does that make sense? Not to sound conceited or cocky, but I don't know if things have happened like to you before and it's like, this can't happen to me. Like, how dare you? like, how dare you? And I was like super mad about it. So, actually talking about it. Some people journal, voice journaling, same thing to me. Talking it out with self, those things. Again, that's why I'm an advocate for therapy. I think everybody should go, which again, like, it's so many layers to this story that if I got into it, it was just child. I mean, I would need you to lay out on the couch, grab some popcorn and something to drink because it's going to take some time. Like that type of time. And I don't know if you have that time because I don't have that time. Because in my head, all I'm thinking about is getting a cupcake right now. So I don't. have the time to give you to discuss this, because I really don't want to discuss it, but I do want to be honest and transparent with people and say, yo, everybody talks about the process of building something, but we don't talk about the exhaustion behind it, what you think it's going to look like, how you think your life is going to look, the things that happen, how it doesn't go your way. Some things do, some things don't, but again, I'm never, going back to the voice thing in all seriousness, I've never felt that way before. So, I wanted to talk about it because again, I started to think about, this is still domestic violence awareness month. There we go. I think we get so caught in breast cancer, which my mom had breast cancer. So, and I'm her only daughter. So, and I have large boobs. So it's one of those things that you think about, but I've never been in a domestic violence situation where someone hit me. But I think we sometimes forget relationships that we had that were abusive, verbally abusive, narcissistic. I think we just forget about that whole spectrum sometimes when we think about domestic violence. I do think we forget about that. And I'm saying that to say I have never been in a place, like I recognized in a relationship before if someone had did certain stuff, but it just made me think about people who have been verbally attacked for a long period of time. It made me think about people who were physically attacked, in a relationship, and how you felt silenced and you felt trapped and you couldn't do anything, and how you blamed yourself constantly. What did you do wrong? Could you have done something wrong? And I understand it now. When people say you have to go through the process of knowing who you are, knowing that that was not your fault. How someone else is acting and betraying themselves to be says more about the other person than it does say about you. And again, I've never been in that place before. So I feel like I just went through a very, a relatable place where it made me probably understand people if I cross, if I meet somebody who's been through that, or if I know, it just gave me a whole different sense of, one, gaslighting, dealing with somebody who has a really narcissistic type of behavior. It just kind of just made me look at a whole different scope of things, a lot different, and how it takes you time to heal from that, and how you can definitely get hit, and I'll say, I feel like I have a good sense of self and confidence. So to be hit like that, so personally, because I couldn't understand the why, the why behind it kind of messed me up, right? And then the lack of support. So it's just when I tell you I can just go on and on, I never thought I could relate to this group of people, and not saying that you get what I'm saying, because that's such a delicate, issue. But it was just making me think from a mental space. If someone never been, in that, physical space, then verbally, or I just went to so many different places with it, and so many different things with it. So this podcast, I guess I say, is dedicated to somebody who feels like they have lost their voice, and you can't speak up, and you can't talk about your issues or what's happening to you or what's going on, and you're feeling ashamed. Things happen. And I swear I'm one of those people who have been through so much in life. Is at some point it's kind of damn, I just something else. And I was always in the place of, I have to give my time, I have to give my advice, I have to do this, I have to do this. I'm actually in a place where I'm trying to just really receive love from myself, from relationships, from people who genuinely are there for me and support me. And I never knew how hard it was to receive just love. As crazy it is, as it is, never thought just receiving love, kindness, appreciation from somebody else or from other people were, it was going to be a hard thing. And it really was. I've even joked before with women, how if somebody tell you you're beautiful, how you can't accept that. Again, no matter what you say, it's still coming back down to self-worth, self-love, self-esteem, self-appreciation. And I think I respect myself at a way higher level. I think I have a higher level of self-esteem and confidence that I think I would have had if I didn't go through that situation. As crazy it is, I don't want to do this shit again. Let me be very clear. If I had to learn this lesson again, I don't know. I don't know if I would do this a second time. But what I'm saying is I'm so appreciative of where I'm at now. And I don't think I've done that in a long time. Like I said, thank you. But I was like, thank you. Run downstairs, right here, gotta run there, gotta run there, gotta run there. Thank you. Like that. But never from like a soul, body, just, like I'm so appreciative. Like breathe in, breathe out. Like I'm so appreciative of where I'm at, what I'm doing. It's making me look, and it has made me look at my why and my mission a lot different. And I think just a different perspective. The situation is the same in, certain places, but my perception of who I am, where I'm at, where I want to go, why I want to be there, what I want to accomplish, is really, really changing. That's probably super, maybe not say scary, but empowering. It's an empowering feeling to really, again, be in a place of, my alarm is going off. I'm setting alarms to remember things I have to do. But just in a place of, I understand things more. Why you're going through what you're going through. Heartaches you had to learn. Just that. But let me come back to this, because this is really what's on my mind. It made me look at what I want to do a lot differently. Like I've always known what I want to do, and I think I've always ran and stopped. And one place I think about, like one time period I always go back to in my life is living in New York City. And sorry, I had to put my shoes on. I felt like Mr. Rogers. Oh God, but like a thick Mr. Rogers. Cause bruh. Woo. Let me say this. I think living in New York was like best time of my freaking life. Like everything about it was just amazing, right? And just the city, food, people, I just felt so focused, like so many things. I just got done. I just was knocking out so many different tasks, right? And oh God, I'm trying to run out of the house now. And then thinking about that and looking at it and looking at now, I'm just thinking focus. Focus was different, and my mission was different. Meaning that I think when I was in New York City, I was so clear on what I wanted to get done. Why I had to get done. Working like this, do not judge me. Do not judge me. Side note, because I'm brushing my teeth, I just thought about him. The baby from North Carolina, loving him. I think I read somewhere where he spent like $20,000 on getting his teeth done. Because they're his teeth. Right? And all I'm sitting here thinking is, like, good God. That's a lot of money. And he was saying that people often judge him about his mouth and saying, I guess how he won't be able to afford it because he doesn't keep it clean, something like that. He talks about how many times a day he brushes his teeth. So I have no idea why that just made me think of him. But I just really wonder, like, how much money, because that still falls into beauty. So I don't know if you guys know. If you know, let me know and I'll tell other people. But I really wonder how much money a month is it costing him to like keep up with that? Like, good gracious, like that looks like it will, you know what I mean? Like cost you an arm and a leg to keep up with it. Anywho, right? Yes, no, maybe just me. Keys, phone. There we go. Okay, so what else was I saying? Yeah, so past the baby, who I absolutely positively love. Boom. This has made me, or making me, look at my vision, purpose, mission, and my why a lot more. It made me look at, again, mission, vision, purpose, why a lot more in this whole time span. And I don't know why I'm saying it over and over, but I guess it's because how real it is to me. I'm like, oh, like I really sincerely, you guys know, again, if you listen to my other podcast, I'm on the move, and if something happens while I'm out and about, I'll let you guys know. I'm telling you about it. So anyway, back to what I was trying to say for the third time. I feel like I'm more purpose driven now because of what has happened, and feeling like I couldn't talk and speak. Again, it made me, revisit purpose, mission, and why I speak all the time. I don't want people to feel by themselves. I don't want people to feel alone and lonely, because majority of my life, I've grown up that way. So even down to someone like my daughter, I did podcasts with her so much and got her to talk because I wanted her to be comfortable with hearing the sound of her voice. I wanted her to be comfortable with expressing herself. I wanted her to be comfortable with expressing her ideas. And I wanted her to know that I listened to her. So we did that. And then we would do stuff like every morning while I'm in the shower in the afternoon. Just kind of talk. Ideas, how you feel, what do you see, what's happening, what's going on. I want people to be able to discuss those things. If something happened, if other people need to know, talk about it. And honestly, I'm just really fascinated by people. I love to hear people's missions and their whys, and how do they find their purpose? How do they come to that thing that made them different? How do they come to the awakening? You know, we can call it so many different words, but like, how did you get your why? How do you know it? How did you overcome all of this stuff that's happened to you to get to this point? Why do you keep going? All of those things are so interesting to me, especially in the time where so many people are depressed and suicidal, especially in a time where I personally feel like a lot of people are lost, and I've been there before. I know how it feels to feel lost, to not have direction, to not be sure, to be so creative and have 55 billion ideas in your head, to start something and then to stop it, to say that you want to do something but you're not sure, to feel like you're supposed to have family and friends understand you and support you, and they have no idea what you're doing and why you're doing it, no matter how many times you explain it. Like, I've been there before, and I don't want people to feel that way. To struggle with self-esteem and confidence, mostly based upon maybe how you look, how you're shaped. Because growing up, I got teased on it all the time. How I looked, hair. My mom really didn't do my hair. She didn't know how to do my hair. So stuff like that for me with my daughter, I'm trying to be like, I tried to be on it. Because again, I had so much hair, didn't know what to do with it. Then I got into makeup really early just because I just thought it was gorgeous and it was glamorous. That it was just my thing from watching TV. So it's a combination of why. But the biggest thing is just knowing people's story, wanting to tell people's story, and wanting people to look good in the process. Because I feel like when you feel good about who you are, you look good, you dress great, you know what's happening in the trend, the beauty, pop culture, entertainment. I just feel like overall as a person, you're just a better person. You're a happier person. when you're being creative, when you're being authentic. I just think you're a happy, better, brighter person. Beauty for me was just, it was kind of like the way in which I feel like, like the Alice in Wonderland type of thing. Like it was my whole, which I talk about it in my book all the time. And other things, I talk about it. But again, in this particular podcast, that's what it is. So I want to have different people that I want to introduce you to, people I love in the industry who I feel like can give you great advice on maybe starting a career in beauty because it changed your life, or you feel inspired, or what it really looks like, the sacrifice it takes, how much money, being on set, production, what's happening, what's really going on with these celebrities, like, little tips and tricks and things like that you didn't know. But I also love to be super social, so I want you to know what's happening, especially if you have a business and you're trying to put your business out there. Because the game is changing so much. And I feel like the more people you know, the more connected you are. You're not banging your head against the wall. Let's make certain parts in life just a lot easier. Fashion, somebody just showing up on the carpet, being themselves. Like I'm all about it. Like I'm all about the showboat and showing off and like being bold and putting yourself out there. Like I'm all about it. But yeah, guys, so I'm back to podcasting, and I don't know, like it's so interesting how I got up here and I was like, I don't have anything to say, which I need to stop saying because that used to be my word. I don't have anything to say, but clearly I do. So at that point now where I realize I have a lot to say, and I'm going to say what I want to say because I believe it's people like you that you're like me. You're listening. You feel different. You feel odd. You don't quite fit in. You love people. You love being out and being social and knowing what's happening in life and, creating things and inventing things and wanting to tell stories and all of these things. Want to bring awareness to stuff. Want to change the world, And I feel like we got to stick together. Crazy people have to stick together. Because listen, let me just add these 2 cents in. If you saw the movie The Joker, bruh, like, first of all, when I say that, what I'm talking about is the last part of the scene where everybody ran up and everybody was around the car cheering for him. Like, they came through, busted him out of jail. They were sticking together. Like, people on a mission. If we can get together and stick together, what powerful, like, what things could you, like, side note, I don't have road rage, but like, I hate when people slow all the way down and you brake. Like you're basically putting your car in park just to make a right turn. Seriously. Why? Okay, past that. But again, crazy people stick together. You saw The Joker. I'm not saying crazy like that, but crazy in people who think alike. People who the world has, said that you're crazy. You think odd, you think different. Those people, we have to stick together because, there is power in groups and numbers and community, and I'm all about it. So thank you so much for listening to this long podcast of me ranting, me running through the house, me brushing my teeth. But if you got anything from this podcast, open your mouth. If you have a podcast you want to start, or a show you want to start, or idea you want to start, and you know your mission, you know your why, you know what you want to do, you know how you want to do it, do it. This is your sign. This is the sign. The sign is the sign. So do it. Step out. Take a leap of faith. Was listening to it today. TD Jakes, Steve Harvey said the same thing. 1, asking you shall receive. 2, small, like, don't get past like starting small. Like, everybody gets so caught up in the stress of starting small. Like, don't overwhelm yourself because you still have other things that's happening in life. And as excited as you are, and as much as you want to put your whole heart in it right now, I'm one of those people, because if I love it, I love it. When I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. Whole heart. Right? Don't kill yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself. Take it, not saying take it slow, but figure out what you can start and be consistent with, and then build upon the next thing. Listen, I swear, I'm pretty sure you have heard this message before. I hear it all the time and want to smack the person when they tell me because I'm so excited and I'm so enthused. Like, don't kill my vibe because that's what I feel like you're doing. But it's real. Don't overwhelm yourself. Give yourself some schedule. Set some type of pace so you can schedule other things around it. Like, what are the consistent things in your life that you can schedule other stuff around so you're not, you get what I'm saying, hurting yourself and killing yourself. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Start your thing, do your thing, do it now. Also, you should have learned the baby is like the greatest. And if you know how much he said it costs for his mouth to get fixed, now I gotta go look it up on Breakfast Club. Let me know because I can't remember. That's what you should have got from this podcast. And 3, like, step out, know your mission, know your why, know why you want to do it, who you want to impact, why you want to impact these people, and actually just get out there and do it. But again, thank you so much for listening to this podcast with me ranting, emotional, screaming, yelling, brushing my teeth, and I cannot remember what else I have done in this podcast. No, I'm driving now. There we go. So again, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Thank you so much for the people who reached out and said they miss me podcasting. You have no idea how inspired I felt, how unworthy I did so much. You know, I felt like, oh God, these people are listening to me. Ooh, hope I didn't say nothing deadly or crazy, but you know, you're still alive. That's all that matters. So thank you for sticking in and sticking by me and being there. Again, to you, just saying, I was talking to my homegirl earlier, saying the one with the chakra, the throat chakra, and we both agreed, like, it's one thing we all kind of like crave for our family member to, you know, support us. And, you know, they've been the person to see us go through the hurt, the harm, the danger, and all of this stuff. And you want them to tell you how, like, we're proud of you, like, we saw it. But for a random person who they don't know who you are, and they're listening to you day after day, and they're sticking by you in and out, and they're showing up, and they're encouraging you. These people don't really know you, even though you're telling them all your crap and the stuff you did. And maybe they're even watching your journey up. Or maybe they came out of the blue. For them to tell you that they're proud of you, I'm looking at it different. That means a lot. These people don't know you. They don't have to tell you you're doing a good job. They don't have to like your picture. They don't have to tell you you're great. So if you have 5 people who like your picture, 10 people who like your picture, like, yo, that's a big fucking deal. Think about it. If you're saying we live in a world, right? Bear with me. Go down the hole with me. If you're saying that we're living in the world where everybody is like mad with each other and there's so much negativity and there's so much hate, yo, bro, you get 5 likes, 10 likes, 30 likes, 100 likes, two podcast downloads, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Like, yo, think about those people in front of your face. Like, those are people you don't necessarily know that's supporting you or telling you it's good. You got people buying your products or who've invested in you. People don't have to. You know what I mean? So if they're doing it, like, you really got to take it and really be thankful. Like, yo, if I can get 2 people, it's somebody else who's going through the same issue or the same problem or the same struggle. So if you just commit to every day saying, I'm going to get out here and I'm going to try, and I'm going to post a little harder, and I'm going to post another post today, and I'm going to go a little further this day. Yo, that alone, that whole story, that whole compass should just let you know you need it. And what you have to say is valuable. And what you have to say is needed. So don't get so caught up if your family and your friends, if they don't get it right now. Like, some people just don't. Like, it's fine. I promise. That, like, I'm really, like, I feel like I don't know how else I can describe this perception or this feeling for you. Like, that really kind of changed my mindset today. But again, it's making me think the people who I don't know these people. Like, someone hit me up today. I can't even pronounce her freaking name. And we had a whole conversation. And she's like, yo, I listened to your podcast. Your voice is so powerful. You know what I mean? I don't know you. You didn't have to say that to me. She did. And I sincerely, you know, as soon as I find her name, I got to give her a shout out. Because she started her podcast too. So, yeah. But, yeah. So, again, I try to wrap my 3 things up really short. I don't think I did a good job. But, you know, we're just gonna go with it. But again, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. I was trying to think of something else to say, because now I'm talking and I don't want to leave you. But again, thank you so much for listening, and I'm back. Bye.